Welcome back. So this lesson we're going to talk a little bit about the guard. And the guard is a way for us to kind of guard ourselves so that we cannot go to pages where we should not go. So in this case, I can actually go without logging in to the products page. Now, I'll get an unauthorized right here, but again, that's kind of not the best user experience. So instead, why not put in a guard saying you're not even allowed to go to this route unless you're actually logged in. So let's try and build that. Now I'll jump into Angular's tutorial right here. That's about the developer guides, routing navigation, to adding routing to Tour of Heroes. And if you scroll down to the milestone 5 right here about routing guards, you'll see a little example on how we can use routing guards right here in our setup. Now there are different ways to handle routes and guards, and here are 4 of them that I want to talk about just quickly. We have can activate, that kind of just decides if you can go to a certain route, and that's what we're going to use this lesson. So you're not allowed to go to this route unless you're actually logged in. You have different ones. You also have if you can activate a child, can you deactivate, again, go away from a route you already at, and the can load decides if you can go to a module. So in our case, it could be you're not even allowed to go to the products module unless you're actually logged in, right? But let's just focus right now on the can activate. And if you scroll down on this milestone 5, there's actually a full featured example you can try and run yourself to try and use this. But I want to go all the way down and generate my first guard right here in my system so we can talk about that guard and how to use it. We're going to just focus on the can activate. Let's try and jump into Angular and just run the command and generate. I want to generate a guard, and it's going to be under auth. And I'm actually going to make a folder for guards because I'm going to have a few later on. And then I just want the first guard to be called auth guard. So that means I'm going to have a new folder here called guards, and that's where it's going to add its first guard right here. That's just going to be about authentication, not authorization, but authentication if you're logged in or not. And in here, I'm going to just use the can activate. You have the other ones available as well. It's just different interfaces depending on which one you pick, but I want to pick the can activate. So there we go. We get 2 files from this. It's just 2 guard files. And the first one is, of course, a spec file if you want to do testing. I think this is a good place to do testing. So we'll definitely get back to that in the testing module. And the next one is auth guard right here, which is the actual execution of if we can log in or not. And as you'll notice right now, it's very simple. The guard just has a true value right here. It returns for now, just saying, can you actually activate this route or not? So let's try and use the guard as the next thing. I'll go down to the product routing module right here. And there, when I go to the path of blank right here, meaning that when I go to /products, then again, remember it's because in the app routing module, you have products right here, and then you go to that module, and then the root of that one is actually going to send you to the products list right here component like this. And then what we can do is we can call the can activate. That was the one we just built. And in that one, you can put in an array. You have to use an array because we can have multiple guards to each route. So out of the box, they're building an array, and inside that one, we'll just add our new auth guard right here, which is the code that we just created right here. Now, as long as this is true, we can still go in there. So let's try and go into this guard right here, and let's just say /products. You'll notice I can still go in here. But as soon as I kind of go into my code and make this false like this, you'll notice that when I try to go into /products now, it actually already redirected me. But if I try now, it'll redirect me back to the main page out of the box. Okay, so that's how it works. And that's a pretty good way to kind of guard myself before I go to a certain route. You can now not even go to that route unless you're actually logged in, or at least making this value true again. But what we can actually also do is we can actually, inside this guy, we can actually also decide where we want to go, where we want to redirect ourselves, and we'll dive into all of that in upcoming lessons. But now you know about the guard, and you know about how easy it is to kind of add these can activate guards right here to your certain routes. And next lesson, we'll try and make it a little more intelligent than just true and false. We actually want to know if you're logged in or not. Then depending on that, you will go to a new route. So let's just end it right here and see you next time. We'll have even more fun.